When a narcissist hates you, it doesn't always look like hate. It often hides behind politeness, silence, or false concern. They won't always attack directly. They'll twist the air around you instead. Narcissistic hatred is quiet poison, delivered through glances, tone, and absence. And the strangest part? They usually hate you most when you're no longer controlled by them. You might expect yelling or open hostility, but what you'll get is indifference that feels unnatural. They act as if you don't exist, even when you're right there. This isn't peace, it's punishment. Narcissists believe ignoring you proves superiority, but in truth, silence is their way of saying, "I've lost power, and I don't know what to do with the void." A strange sign of their hatred is forced kindness. They might compliment you in public, only to criticize you later in private. It's not generosity, it's image management. They're building a facade of civility while secretly trying to undermine you. When they can't destroy your reputation directly, they'll try to control how others see you. Sometimes they imitate you. Yes, imitation is a form of hatred for them. They copy your style, your phrases, even your opinions. But it's not admiration. It's mockery disguised as mimicry. They want to steal your essence, prove they can do you better than you. When a narcissist starts mirroring your strengths, it's because they can't stand your individuality. They'll go quiet, but not peacefully. Their silence is heavy, designed to make you question yourself. You'll start wondering if you did something wrong. That's exactly what they want, to make your own mind turn against you. It's a strange form of revenge, punishing you with absence until you beg for their presence again. When they truly hate you, you'll notice subtle jabs disguised as humor. "Just joking," they'll say after cutting remarks. They hide cruelty inside laughter so they can deny intent. These micro-insults are how narcissists release venom while maintaining their mask. The strange part is how normal it all sounds, until you start listening carefully. Another weird sign is sudden generosity. They might give you gifts or favors unexpectedly. It feels confusing. Why kindness now? But it's strategic. They're testing your gratitude, gauging if they still hold emotional leverage. Real generosity doesn't expect reaction. Narcissistic generosity always demands something in return: validation, submission, or confusion. They'll downplay your achievements, no matter how small or big. That's great, but anyone could have done that. They use faint praise to erase significance. It's their way of controlling your confidence. Narcissists can't tolerate seeing you proud without their approval, so they sprinkle doubt on every success. That subtle envy is hatred in disguise. Their energy changes around you. The room feels colder, heavier. They withdraw physically while watching closely from the corner. It's a predator's stillness, hatred waiting for opportunity. You can feel their resentment even when they say nothing. Narcissists communicate their hate through atmosphere more than words. The tension becomes the message. They'll start rewriting history. "I never said that." "You're remembering wrong." It's called gaslighting, but beneath it lies hatred. Hatred for truth, for accountability, for your clarity. When they hate you, they try to erase your version of reality. Because truth threatens the fantasy where they're always the hero. Another strange sign: they suddenly act overly polite to your friends or family. They're not being friendly. They're recruiting. Narcissists hate through influence. They turn people into mirrors to reflect their version of events. When they can't attack you directly, they'll charm your circle to isolate you indirectly. Their social media becomes a stage for subtle warfare. They post quotes about loyalty, betrayal, or fake people. None of it names you, but all of it points at you. It's public shaming dressed as wisdom. They want you to see it and react, to prove you're still watching. The moment you stop caring, the show loses its audience, and they hate that most. They'll act bored when you speak. Their eyes glaze over, their attention drifts. It's deliberate dismissal, meant to make you feel small. When they hate you, they pretend you're unimportant. But if you truly were, they wouldn't bother performing indifference. Feigned boredom is obsession hiding under arrogance. Sometimes they'll try to compete with you in areas they never cared about before. If you start a new hobby, suddenly they're an expert. If you succeed, they'll find a way to top it. Narcissistic hatred is driven by envy. Your progress mirrors their stagnation, and instead of growing, they attack. Competing isn't about winning, it's about proving you shouldn't. They might start gossiping about you, twisting truths into poison. The stories always sound plausible because they mix fact with fiction. It's projection, accusing you of what they're guilty of. When they can't control your life, they control your narrative. This social manipulation is one of their strangest and cruelest weapons. When a narcissist hates you, they secretly monitor you. They claim they've moved on, but they still check your posts, ask mutual friends, or even drive by your place. Hatred keeps them tethered. You become their obsession disguised as indifference. The more they insist they don't care, the more invested they actually are. They'll flip between love and hate rapidly. One day you're amazing, the next you're selfish. This emotional whiplash isn't random, it's control. They hate feeling powerless, so they use inconsistency to keep you off balance. The unpredictability is their anchor. As long as you're confused, they feel relevant. When they hate you, their compliments sound like criticism in disguise. You're so independent. It must be hard for anyone to handle you. It's flattery twisted into isolation. They use backhanded praise to undermine your confidence while pretending to uplift you. This tactic lets them hurt without being held accountable. A more subtle sign is when they start talking like you. Your words, your tone, your humor, it all becomes theirs. They hate how you shine, so they steal your light. By imitating you, they blur your uniqueness. But imitation doesn't equal understanding. They can copy behavior, not authenticity. And authenticity is what burns them most. If you ever expose them or set boundaries, their hatred intensifies. You'll see rage disguised as righteousness. They'll accuse you of cruelty for protecting yourself. Boundaries feel like betrayal to them because obedience equals love in their mind. When you stop obeying, they stop pretending to like you. They'll suddenly act as if they've forgiven you for something you didn't try to do. It's a trick to reassert moral superiority. They can't admit hatred, so they rebrand it as pity. "I hope you heal," they'll say, masking contempt as compassion. It's psychological theater, designed to make you look broken while they play enlightened. Strangely, when they truly hate you, they still copy your emotional tone. If you're calm, they become stoic. If you're detached, they mirror indifference. They do this not to connect, but to compete. Narcissistic hate is imitation fueled by envy. They want to feel as strong and composed as you appear, even when they're falling apart inside. You'll notice they start seeking validation from your enemies or critics. They bond with anyone who dislikes you because shared hatred gives them temporary power. But it never lasts. These alliances crumble because narcissists can't share attention for long. Even their revenge turns into self-sabotage eventually. They might flaunt new relationships or friendships online, knowing you'll see it's a performance of happiness, not real joy. Narcissists use people as props to signal superiority. The faster they move on publicly, the more you can tell their hatred is private chaos. True contentment doesn't need an audience. When you stop reacting altogether, they panic. Hatred without impact feels like silence in a vacuum. They need your energy to fuel their narrative. Without it, they feel erased. That's why your calm is so threatening. It proves they never had real control, only the illusion of it. They'll sometimes bring up your name in random conversations, pretending it's casual. But the tension in their voice gives them away. They claim to be over it, yet you live rent-free in their mind. Hatred makes them obsessive. They can't let go because your existence reminds them of the failure they refuse to admit. A strange form of their hatred is condescension. They'll act superior, calling you too emotional, immature, or dramatic. These labels are projection. Narcissists hate the emotions they suppress in themselves. Seeing your authenticity irritates them because it highlights their emptiness. Sometimes they pretend to seek closure. They'll message you under the guise of peace, asking to talk things out. But it's bait. They're not looking for healing. They're looking for a reaction. True closure threatens them because it ends the cycle. Their hatred survives only through continued connection. They may even imitate healing. Suddenly, they're posting spiritual quotes, attending therapy, or preaching self-growth. But watch closely. It's performance, not progress. They're not healing. They're competing. They hate that you're evolving, so they try to imitate transformation to reclaim superiority. But growth faked for attention always collapses. When they hate you, even your silence sounds like arrogance to them. Your calmness insults their chaos. They'll accuse you of acting better, or thinking you're perfect. What they're really saying is, I hate that you're not reacting to me anymore. Your peace mirrors their lack of control, and that reflection burns. They'll minimize your pain. You're still talking about that? They'll say when you bring up real hurt. It's dismissal disguised as concern. Narcissists hate reminders of their cruelty because it breaks their fantasy of innocence. So they shame you for remembering what they refuse to face. Forgetting is forgiveness to them, but only when it benefits their image. Another odd behavior. They start praising people who resemble you but treat them better. It's indirect punishment. They want you to feel replaceable, yet they can't stop comparing. Their need to prove they've upgraded is proof they haven't. Hate makes them copy your blueprint while pretending they built it first. They start twisting empathy into guilt. I know you're a good person. You just misunderstood me. It sounds gentle, but it's manipulation. They hate losing emotional control, so they use kindness as bait. This false compassion disarms you, making you question your boundaries. But empathy that erases accountability is not real empathy. It's deceit. A narcissist's hatred reveals itself in contradictions. They'll say they're indifferent, yet they react to every rumor about you. They'll insist you never mattered, yet they keep watching your life unfold. The inconsistency exposes their truth. Hate and obsession are the same fuel, burning in opposite directions. They might weaponize other people's empathy. I worry about them. They'll whisper to mutual friends, pretending concern. It's covert character assassination. By feigning care, they spread suspicion. It's hatred in sheep, as clothing. A strategy so polite it almost sounds noble until you realize it's cruelty. Sometimes they just disappear entirely. No goodbye, no explanation. This vanishing act isn't closure, it's punishment. They want you confused, searching for answers, because confusion equals attention. But when you stop chasing clarity, the trick fails. They disappear thinking they've won, not realizing indifference was your victory all along. Their body language tells the story, too. Forced smiles, stiff posture, eyes that avoid contact. Their hate leaks through even when their words sound calm. They might laugh too loudly or talk too fast when you're near, trying to mask discomfort. Hatred turns them restless. Peace makes them squirm. They may try to copy your happiness just to prove they're fine. You post a joyful picture. Suddenly, they're thriving. But imitation isn't healing. It's deflection. Their need to mirror your light only proves how much your peace bothers them. True hate isn't loud. It's jealous silence hiding behind forced joy. Sometimes they try to rewrite their hatred as love. I was just hurt. You meant so much to me. Don't fall for it. When a narcissist says they were hurt, they mean their ego was. Their love was always conditional, and their hate is just love that lost control. Either way, both are forms of possession. They'll accuse you of being narcissistic for protecting yourself. You only think about you now, they'll sneer. It's projection at its finest. What they hate most isn't your selfishness. It's your self-respect. They mistake boundaries for ego because control is the only love language they understand. When you move on peacefully, their hatred deepens into obsession. They can't stand watching you thrive without them. Happiness without their permission feels like betrayal. But your joy is proof that their control was never love. It was dependency. The brighter you shine, the smaller they feel. They might try one last trick, pretending to forgive you publicly. I've made peace with everything, they'll say, hoping to sound wise. But their voice trembles when they talk about you. Hatred doesn't fade with performance. It fades with growth. And growth is something they avoid at all costs. They start telling people, you changed. That's their code for, I can't manipulate them anymore. The transformation that healed you enrages them. They don't hate the new you. They hate that the old version, the one they controlled, is gone forever. Their hate eventually isolates them. People notice the bitterness behind their charm, the envy behind their smiles. Narcissistic hatred eats its host first. The energy they once used to control you now consumes them. While you're outgrowing, they're imploding. You'll know their hatred has peaked when they pretend you never existed. They erase your name, your pictures, your story, as if deleting you erases the guilt. But forgetting you doesn't heal them. It only proves how fragile their ego really is. They can erase evidence, but not memory. In time, their hatred transforms into quiet obsession. They'll follow your life from afar, pretending they don't care. But every success you achieve feels like salt in their wounds. The same confidence they once mocked now becomes their reminder of failure. They don't just hate you, they envy your freedom. Eventually, the hatred they aimed at you turns inward. The silence they weaponized becomes their own punishment. Without someone to project onto, they face themselves. And that's the person they truly can't stand. Their hatred for you was always self-hatred in disguise. By then, you're long gone, thriving, glowing, unbothered. Their name no longer triggers emotion. Their energy no longer touches yours. They can stew in resentment all they want. It no longer belongs to you. That distance is your closure, and it drives them quietly insane. The strangest sign of all is their silence after realizing they can't hurt you anymore. The hate burns out because it has nowhere left to go. You've become untouchable, not through revenge, but through healing. Peace is your armor. Indifference is your shield. and both are stronger than their rage ever was. In the end, when a narcissist hates you, it's not really about you. It's about their failure to control what they never owned. Their hatred is a mirror reflecting their emptiness. But your peace? That's your victory. The day you stop reacting is the day you win. Because nothing terrifies a narcissist more than the sound of your calm.